is a cylindrical shape, but if you draw this out, you can do it either way. I'm just going to draw it out first with a rectangular piece. So I'm kind of setting it off down here. Okay. And within that, I'm going to try to draw the ellipse. So here's this rectangular shape. I can cross the diagonals to find the center. And also just kind of look at these corners and try to curve this part out. So once I get that at least started, then I can finish off the elliptical shape. The other part is a center line. It's going at an angle. So I'm just kind of placing it up there. I can see the tangent, which is the outside edge of this. And I'm just going to keep it parallel to start with, just to get me going. It tapers, so I can taper that too. And then depending the overall distance, I just want to try to see if I can't create an elliptical shape in the back there. So for the first part, it's pretty easy. I can leave that, kind of setting out there. It doesn't have to be perfectly laid out there, but at least I got the main part. Again, if I use a straight edge, that type of thing is going to help. I can almost see that this is even distorted, so I'm going to change it just a little bit. And that's why the photograph sometimes is unique as helping you position the items. So I'm just going to go for the part that's the positive. Always thinking positive here. Catch that, anybody there? So here I'm just going to kind of give myself a couple lines for the outside, and I'm going to taper them now that I have the initial part set up. So there it is. The next part is I'm going to put the lettering in there. So I do want to go ahead and give myself a baseline for the industrial, and the rest of the two I might just sneak off the top and bottom. Right, like that. And what you do is you can kind of visually plan it. It doesn't have to, because since I'm not ending it, and the only trouble is that these lines have to curve to match this as it goes back in perspective. So there it is, industrial. So if I go back and just kind of, just like before, kind of make a square for each letter. The I is going to be pretty narrow, so I just make it match. There's the R, T, S, U, and if you're good at spelling backwards, D, N, I. Okay, so there's the letter right there. And since this is going to be pretty dark right from the beginning, I'm just going to go ahead and heavy it up right away as I go through the drawing. So I can leave the baseline in there, and for this I, right there for industrial, the N, okay, I'm just going to put that piece right in there and go ahead and draw that section right in there. And again, just kind of place that piece in there. So the D is going to be a rectangle, but keep in mind you have that curve, and just kind of curving a little bit. It's kind of a block letter. The U is still a rectangular shape, kind of chipped off, but then it has the middle part. S is a little trickier, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a height line up here, just so you can see it. And here's the S. So make it like the letter 8, and then just clip off those pieces and angle it, so it makes it real easy. The T, I could even come up here and move that straight edge and kind of using the negative part of it. The R, so when you're drawing a battery, you always want to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Battery talk. The I is just going to be two vertical lines. The A, start off rectangular, but then just taper that edge, and then find the interior part of it. And the L, just come down to this piece. So for the most part, I have it kind of set up there. Now when I take a look at this thing turning, I'm just going to give myself the part for the alkaline. I can see a couple of lines down there, but not everything. So I'm going to keep that edge there and just kind of curve it again. Find where it starts. So there's the A, L, K, A, L. The I is going to be narrow, then N and E. And so now it's just the tops of the letters, so it kind of minimizes it a bit. So you can kind of see some of those pieces. So that's giving me that section. Okay, and with this straight edge, I'm just going to kind of darken that up since it's going to be valued in there. Now the top part for the Energizer is going to have an upper and lower case, and you have the G to worry about. So I'm just going to emphasize this up here. Kind of estimate where the E starts is right about here. Let's see if I can't there's the G. And now I can put the baseline. And the tricky part in this, it's not only curved, but it's italicized, so you got to kind of place it in there. Okay. And then once you have it, just kind of go back in and find the edges. Find this edge. And then go ahead and find the outside piece. Now this part, when you do the ellipse, just make sure it doesn't have a point to it. So I'm going to wrap this around. I can see that I can extend it a little bit, so I'm just going to make that to be the band. And just extend it just a little bit to be the piece on the end. And then now when I take a look at this ending part here, kind of see how this is. So this has the three-dimensional part coming out. Has a little bit of the interior tucked in, and then the overall thickness of this is a little bit bigger, wrapping around this part. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, okay.